In this video, I'm going to talk about how being too smart, the fact that you're so smart and so autistic in everything that you do is holding you back from getting to 10K a month. And in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to be going over. I'm going to be going over the exact steps that you can take to fix this problem, the exact steps that you can take to release those bottlenecks that are holding you back from 10K a month. So that's exactly what we're going to be going over in this video. So I'm going to get into the document real quick. So as you can see, have you ever noticed some of the richest people aren't the smartest, right? It's true. We worked with a lot of large influencers. We worked with Alex Sedlak, worked with Evan Merger, Charlie Cochran, basically run their entire back-end operations and their entire business. And our clients, the people who we bring on as clients, are very, very smart, right? They're very educated and we vet them very, very heavily. However, some of the people that we talk to when we're looking for new clients are not that smart. And so one of the things that we're realizing as we do this more and more is the people that we talk to who are actually the richest are not always the smartest. They're oftentimes very, very dumb. And so it's more relatable. And so that's exactly what I'm going to talk about here. If you have ever felt nervous on a sales call, if you've ever felt stuck, unable to achieve your goals, that kind of thing, if you've ever heavily relied on other people to solve your problems for you, if you recognize that you may have more of a systems-oriented or creative-oriented mind, but you struggle to balance both of them, if you over-explain just like I do, if you struggle getting clients, you struggle getting on sales calls, that kind of thing, this video is going to be the video for you. It's going to solve all those problems. So if you don't fall into those categories though, this video is probably going to be a waste of time for you, so you can go ahead and click off now. I don't want to waste your time. I want to be as valuable as possible. So time is money. So get off this video if those do not apply to you. But if they do apply to you, this video is going to be a banger. So this is basically going to be how to rewire your mind in order to have everything, not just just business or not just back-end systems or not just sales skills. If you are very, very good at sales and bad at back-end systems, I'm going to teach you how to master both. If you're very good at back-end systems like me and you're very bad at sales like me, I'm not that bad at sales. I can close more than most people, but my focus is generally towards systems. If you are like me or like the first stereotype that I talked about, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can switch your brain over and basically fix all your problems, right? We rewire your mind. So personally, I'm much more of a systematic person, right? I over-explain things a lot of the times. I overthink things as well. Even just for example, going out on a date, I might overthink it, right? I might overthink, what are the steps that I need to take? And I'm so autistic when it comes to that of every single detail needs to be perfected. I need to have the right script. I need to have the right, riz and that kind of thing. It's not about that. It's about being able to expand your mind and do whatever's needed, right? So if you're systems minded, you're going to be very, very logical. If you're creative minded, you're going to be a lot more emotional, or not even just emotional, but you're going to make decisions more off of the route that seems better. Not necessarily the route that's logically better, but the one that you kind of think might perform better. You're going to take more risks, obviously, if you're creative, right? So when I was first starting in business, I sucked at sales. I sucked at marketing. I didn't know what to say or how to say it, and that was my big problem, right? So I couldn't do appointment setting. I didn't think I could have had this limiting belief in my mind that I couldn't do appointment setting because I just wasn't that skilled at it. I wasn't good at it, wasn't good at talking to people. I had those same thoughts in my mind, and you might be hearing those and saying, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not very good at talking to people. I'm not really good at doing X, Y, Z. I'm an introvert. That's a limiting belief that you have. You have to become extroverted if you want it all. And so when I was first starting out, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it. And so I couldn't get girls because I didn't know what to say next, right? All that kind of stuff. So as a result of that, it took me 4 years to get to my first 10K a month, right? When I was first a kid, I was taught to have this filter on my words, right? Whenever I'd go out, you don't want to say certain things because it might offend somebody. And what I've learned as I've gotten more and more into those high value social circles is the people in the highest value social circles do not care about what they say. They don't care who they offend because they have the money, right? So if you want to get rich, yeah, you don't want to outshine your master, 48 laws of power type thing, but you still need to make sure that obviously you are speaking in a way where you are showing your true beliefs, because people cling on to your true beliefs. That's how you build a personal brand, is by putting your real beliefs out there and building an army behind you and building a cult-like following behind you. And so problem obviously was basically ruining every aspect of my life. And I want to show you kind of how I fixed it. So here's the two types of brains that I kind of see when I look at when I look at my brain versus other people's brains. These are kind of the two types of brains that I typically see, right? I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. There's the systems brain, which is kind of the one that I have that's more analytical, more structured. I focus a lot on the details, like even at my fridge right now, like all of the cans in my fridge are lined up perfectly. All the water bottles are lined up perfectly. Like all the Celsius is lined up like label front, like so it's like this instead of like this. I don't just throw things around. I'm very detail oriented, and I think you need that skill to be successful. Also very, very logical when you think of processes, and also very, very consistent, right? I have a problem with spontaneity, right? When I first moved into this this new house with my business partner, the big problem that I had was I wasn't getting a lot of stuff done because I was very, very spontaneous, and I hadn't had that spontaneity in my life before. I was very, very systemized even in my calendar. And so let me pull up my calendar real quick to give you an example. So here's an example of what a day in my life looks like, right? I have all these different things planned out. I have exactly when I'm going to wake up. I have my meditation in my schedule. I have my deep work session in my schedule, and sometimes I'll even write tasks underneath the deep work. Also have, like here, I had to send invites to this. I had to obviously put a certain task, like these are certain tasks here. And then obviously I had, team training at 11. So green is my meetings. Like you can see how structured this is. Pick up Celsius. Like that's not on most people's calendar, but that's on my calendar, right? Each of these are calls here. So obviously I had different calls along the day, but you can see how structured this calendar is, right? I have every little piece of what I did this day in this calendar. And so as you can see, I'm a lot more like logical. I'm not very spontaneous, right? Creative brains are a lot more spontaneous. So this is a skill that I had to develop. It's not something where I'm just not a spontaneous person. I just haven't developed the skill of spontaneity. So this is another limiting belief that you have. If you are a systems brain, you can develop the creative brain, right? If you're not good at talking to girls, you can develop that skill, right? The creative brain is generally going to be better at talking to girls because they can talk emotionally, but you can develop this skill. Just because you are born with more of a systems brain, this is not like this is not like two things that are non-congruent, right? You can have both of these things, and you need to have both of them if you want to be successful, right? You need to have two things that are, these are different things, but you can have both of them. It's more of a spectrum than like one thing, if that makes sense. So you also, obviously the creative person, they're going to have more innovative ideas, more big picture, high level focus. I'm very bad at looking at the high level. I'm very, very good at looking at the details and building specific things right then and there. Again, emotional expression. So this is another thing that, this was kind of why creative brain people tend to be able to talk to girls a lot easier. There's the answer. So most entrepreneurs have the very analytical systems brain, right? Most of the ones that I talk to are very, very technical. They're very, very good. If you look at like Elon Musk, for instance, if we look at an Elon Musk speech and analyze it, you're going to see you're going to see two things when you analyze Elon Musk's speech. First of all, you're going to see like how actually autistic you are because you're going to analyze it very, very heavily, right? Number two, you're going to see that Elon Musk is a very analytical person. Everything that he does, he's very, very analytical in the way he talks, right? And I'm the same way. I'm very technical, right? Biggest billionaires in the world are not just systems brain though. They are creative, right? Elon Musk, if he came up for the idea with the Cybertruck, right? Like obviously it might not have been his number one, he might not have been the number one person, but he has the creative brain to know that. And the other thing that he does well is he outsources the stuff that he's not good at, right? He doesn't just try to do it all himself. He did not build his billions off of one person's back. He didn't build it all off of his back. He built it off of the back of all the other people around him as well. And he's also building their brand up as well. So you need to develop both. This is a ship. As you can see, we have different people on both sides of the ship. This represents your team, right? All these people here, these are your team, and this is you. This is the leader who calls the shots. You say, go row this way, go row that way. You are the leader who calls the shots down here, right? This is you. If you are assuming you're the leader, right? If these people on the right side row at a slower rate than the people on the left side, you're going to move in a circle, right? You're just going to move in a circle. And so if you move in a circle, you're not going anywhere. Your goal is to move forward. And so you need everybody rowing at the exact same time. That's how when you call the shots from back here, you have to know like, okay, these people row now, these people row now. And if you've ever been to like, we live by the Charlotte National Whitewater Center, right? We've gone whitewater rafting before. They tell you exactly when to row. They tell you how many rows forward, how many rows back, right? If you're not good at calling the shots, you're not going to be a good leader. You have to tell people exactly when to row, and you have to be able to shout that mission loud enough so that all these people can read it. So your life goals, what are they, right? You're not going to get women if you don't change to more emotional approach, right? Is that really your life goal? I think for most people it is, and if not, you kind of have a sad existence. Any of these entrepreneur people who are out here, I used to do this too, and that's why I bring up women so much. We all fight this fight of well, I don't need women. I have my business. Money is the most important. I agree. I think that money is the most important thing, and I don't think that a woman should take away from your passion. But I also know that you can have everything if you set your mind to it. You don't need just your business or just women or just this or just that. You need it all. If you want to actually have a happy life and a fulfilled life and a successful life, you can have it all. But you have to put in the work in all different aspects of your life, not just business. And what you'll realize very, very fast, when you take a little focus off of business, not much changes. A lot of times it goes up. When I went from working like 18 hours a day down to working like 3, 4, 5 hours a day, I got more results. The richest people in the world work less and they buy back their time. And so you need to be doing the same if you want to get the same results that they get. And so the way that you do that is you have to be able to get it all, right? You need a more emotional approach. Now, for most people, this is what we call a blind spot. This is something that you don't even know is wrong, right? This is something that you don't even realize is a problem because you don't recognize it, right? This is a blind spot. And so that's where I am here to help you, right? I want to give you all the sauce so that you can eliminate the blind spot, right? Overanalysis equals stress equals over-reliance. This is a formula that I kind of developed here, right? Overanalysis is going to lead to stress. And when you're stressed out, you're going to be over-reliant on people, right? We had this dude in our community and he basically didn't have a client for a while, and he still doesn't have a client, I don't think. He might have got a client recently, but just to kind of give you an idea of who that is, right? He didn't have a client and then he became over-reliant on us. And so what happens is when you get over-reliant on a mentor, it's not that they're going to flip out on you, but it's that they need to put you in your place. They need to say, hey, you need to get a client. You don't need to be relying on me. You need to get the work done and get a client first, right? So that's kind of what I did. And I think as a good mentor, you have to be able to watch what your students are doing and be able to call out their blind spots. But he didn't even know that it was a blind spot that he didn't have a client yet, right? He was focused on building connections, which I think is great. I think that's a very, very good thing. But he also was not making money from his business. And so a business is nothing without money, right? Remember that, write that down. A business is nothing without money. And so you need to have a balance between these two things here, because if you don't, or between obviously the two mindsets, because if you don't, if you're all thinking in a systems way or in a creative way, you're not going to move anywhere. Okay? So are you too reliant on others? You need this mindset shift here. You have to realize that you can develop both a systematic brain and a creative brain, and you need to have both. Everybody focuses all in on one, right? My business partner, when we partnered up, right, he was like, nah, I don't need to learn back end stuff. I'm just going to do all the sales and marketing. And I was like, great. I don't need to learn sales and marketing. I just need to learn all the back end stuff. And we dip our toes in each other's spaces sometimes. No homo, right? Each of us work together on different parts and pieces of the business. For example, for our software company, he does all the back end for it, right? I do some of the marketing and the sales, but I don't do nearly as much work on that. In the growth partner business, for instance, when we're working, let's say for Alex Sedlak, I'm taking cold calls, he's taking sales calls, that kind of thing. And so I dip my toes into the sales and marketing side, and he dips his toes into the back end side, right? So you have to have both. You have to have both mindsets, and you need to overdevelop the weaker side. So if you are more of a systems thinker like I am, I need to overdevelop my creative side. I need to practice writing. I need to practice, posting content. I need to practice those things and practice being creative. Because the only way you can gain a skill is by doing things that require that skill. And so if you want to become more creative, you have to do things that require creative thinking, right? And so here's down to the reasons why you should change. You need to have a more balanced mindset, right? A lot of people say, you got two sides of the spectrum. You have the people that are like, work-life balance, let's go. Then you have the people that are like, no, I don't need balance. I got 80 hours a week to work. I'm going to work 150 hours a week. It's like, bro, shut up. It's not realistic, right? You're going to burn out so fast, and I did that too. I used to work that much. I used to work 80 hours a week, and I still think that you can work a lot of hours. But what I do, I don't need to work hourly. If you want to go work in a wagey job, if you want to go work in a business that pays you hourly, by all means go do it. I think it's good. We need somebody to flip the burgers. But if you want to go to that next level and you want to start your own business online, you have to have self-sufficiency, right? So obviously you're going to have better skills in problem solving and adaptability, and you're going to have a lot more opportunities for growth and success, not just in business, but physical, mental, spiritual, financial, all of those aspects, right? So how to change. This is what I call the Google Maps method. You may have seen this before because I created it. As far as I understand, I'm pretty sure I'm the first dude to say it. But where you are at and where you want to go, those are the two things that we need to get you there, right? So the first thing that we need to do is analyze our current situation, identify where we're at right now, right? This framework is going to be the vehicle, what we call the vehicle, and the route to get you there, right? So we want to analyze first where we are at. Where are you? What is your current situation? Are you broke? Do you have women? What are your goals, right? This is where we actually need to think about like where we actually at right now and be brutally honest. I want you right now, pause this video, go grab a pen and piece of paper and write down exactly where you're at. Write down the brutal truth of what you're thinking right now. What's going through your mind, right? Are you broke? How much money is in your bank account? Write that figure down. If you have multiple bank accounts, add all those figures up and then look at where you want to go, right? Where is your goal? Where is your actual goal? Not just like, hey, I want to make more money, but I want to make X amount of dollars and buy this house, right? I have a specific house in mind that I visualize basically every day. Let me pull it up real quick. So this is the first real mansion that I ever saw that was close to me and that was kind of tangible to me. It's about 20 minutes from my current house, maybe 15 minutes. And this is kind of what it looks like, right? So I saw this house, I drove by it and I said, damn, this is a nice house. So I looked it up, realized it was 3.5 million, a little out of the budget right now. Not too long though. We'll get this in the budget eventually, but I visualized this house, right? I know exactly what it looks like in my brain when I'm looking at this house, right? I walk through the front door. To the left, I have my office. To the right, you walk down there, you get into the kitchen area, and then you get into the bar, and then there's a fish tank in the back, and then you go up the stairs, and there's different rooms upstairs. There's a movie theater room upstairs. I know all that in my brain. Why? Because I visualized it, right? I looked at these pictures, I memorized these pictures, and I got a tangible outline in my brain of exactly what this house looks like. Now, after I did that, I memorized exactly where I want to be in life, right? I know exactly what my goals are. And so one day I will own this house, right? Like, look how nice this house is. This is the dream, bro. 7 bedrooms, 7 baths, beautiful house. It's in a weird spot. Obviously, yeah, okay, there's pluses and minuses. Maybe I'll never own this house. Maybe I will. We'll see. It's a goal, right? You need to identify exactly, tangibly what your goals are, right? Another thing that I visualize Lamborghinis, I visualize nice cars, right? I visualize the life that I want to have. I know exactly where I want to live. I visualize another thing, fits for women, right? I have a note in my phone that literally breaks down what the perfect woman looks like for me. I'm going to see if I can show it real quick. I don't know if I have everything in there that I would want to share, but let me go check. All right, so this is in my Apple Notes on my phone. I literally made this note, as you can see, December 4th, 2023, right? This is the perfect female in my mind for me, right? Someone who's ambitious, someone who pushes me to the next level, can add to each other's lives, willing to make sacrifice for our dreams align with mine, works out, lives to a high standard, and willing to change and develop. These are kind of the qualities that I want in my woman, right? There's not necessarily physical qualities. I should have gone a lot more in depth. I thought I had one that was more in depth. I think it might be somewhere else, not in my Apple Notes, but this is kind of what I want you to do. I want you to sketch out exactly what this looks like. Try to, instead of making this list like 8 bullet points, try to make it go like a full page. I know it's going to be hard, but I want you to write down every single quality. Are they blonde? What's, color of their eyes? Like, write down everything. I want you to visualize this in so much detail that it becomes scary to you and that it becomes real to you. That's how you're going to actually change. And so, if you're a systems thinker, one of the things that you can do is start to turn off some of your brain when you send messages, right? Like, if your main problem is appointment setting, which for most people it is, the reason most people can't do appointment setting is they're too autistic about it, right? They're using the perfect script. Same thing with sales. You're trying to use this script, bro. You don't need a script. You should never be using a script. You should be using a framework, right? You should know kind of the layout of what the question should be, but you need to act like a human. So the way that you do that is you just turn off half your brain, right? If I go into a date, the way that I start a date, if I'm going on a first date, I'm going to be just kind of turn off my brain, right? I'm not going to ask some deep question when I first meet a girl, right? I'm going to say, oh, did you get here all right? Oh, how's your day? Good. What else are they going to say, right? So you want to turn off some of your brain. You want to actually expand your brain to this point, right? Creative thinkers, they just need to think more logically. It's as simple as that, right? Stop caring what other people think. Don't let other people's opinions of you affect what you actually do in an authentic state, right? You need to be authentic, and that's what makes people follow you. That's the secret for everything that you want to know from a personal brand side, from how to actually get clients. Make people like you because of your belief systems. If you have the right belief systems and people want to be associated with that and try to associate themselves with these belief systems, you're going to grow to a point that you never thought imaginable. Understand, failure is the prerequisite for success. So if you want to be successful, you first need to fail. And so the quicker that you can fail, the quicker that you can get the failure out of the way, the quicker you can become successful. Look at things from a more high level perspective, right? This is one thing that I did a lot. that really helped me. Instead of looking at everything on like the tactical micro level, look at what are the goals long term. Instead of looking at what are the goals for today, which I think you should also do, you also need to look at like what are the long-term goals. How is this goal today going to affect the long-term goal, right? If my goal is to buy that house, I need to make sure that what I'm doing today is actually adding onto my life to where I get to that point where I buy the house. If my goal is to find a girl, well, maybe I should go on a dating app. Maybe I should go out and do cold approaches, right? That's where you need to be. Put your mind on what matters most to you. This is the most important part of this whole thing. And I have this saying that I always say, put your mind on the money and the money will follow. All right, so just a quick house tour here. I'm gonna try to maneuver the camera right. As you can see behind me, we got these money rugs here. Why? Because I'm putting my mind on the money, right? So if you put your mind on the money will follow. In my house, I have 7 money rugs and I have 3 more on the way right now. And so the reason is because I want my mind to always be thinking about money. Whenever I think like maybe I should go do this thing or maybe I should go do that, I want my mind to be on the money. Because when you put your mind on the money will follow. And so that's the biggest thing that everybody messes up is they refuse to put their mind on what actually matters, right? So here's some common fears, just real quick. Make sure to stay with me here because this part's important. When you care what other people think, you're not going to put your mind on what actually matters, right? If you're scared of being uncomfortable, that's the wrong mindset to have. You're going to lose all the time when you're scared of being uncomfortable. You need to get in uncomfortable situations so you can grow, right? Growth comes from not being comfortable. Growth comes from doing things that are uncomfortable despite the fact that they are uncomfortable. And another big point, this is a saying I think from maybe Jack Hopkins or somebody like that, CEO of Testosterone, it's better to be hated and happy than never heard of, right? That is the kind of goal, right? You're gonna be a lot happier if you're hated than if you've never been heard of, right? So some common mistakes, a lot of people give up too soon. They say, well, I can't develop this new brain, right? They start overcorrecting by focusing on developing the opposite thinking style, and they start ignoring the need for balance between both of the styles, right? So here's my biggest bonus tip. This is the most important thing that I kind of see that you could be doing better, right? Getting a business partner who can balance you out. This is super incredibly useful. For me, that was my business partner who literally had the opposite skill set of what I did. He does the exact opposite thing. The things that I hate to do, he does. The things that he hates to do, I do. I do the back-end systems, he does the front-end marketing. I make sure shit works in the background. He makes sure that there's money coming in, right? And so that's how you need to split things up. You need to have some sort of split in between you so that you don't have to be doing the stuff that's as hard. It takes a lot of the pressure out of it when you have someone else to do this kind of stuff for you. So I would highly recommend to get a business partner. If you're wondering where to find a business partner, if you're struggling to kind of gain that systems mindset, if you have a systems mindset, I think that Isaiah could be very helpful for you to give you some sauce, right? I want you to click the link in the description. The top link in the description, that is going to help you out in so many ways. And that's, I want you to book in a quick call with either me or my business partner, just kind of see like where you're at, what your goals are, if, the inner circle can help you, if we can help you, that kind of thing. If you have a systems mindset, Isaiah can fix your problem because he has the knowledge of how to fix the systems mindset and turn people into more creative thinkers. If you have more of a systems mindset already and you need to become more creative and better at sales and marketing, that's where you need to go. If you do not have a systems mindset, you have the sales and marketing mindset, the front end marketing mindset, but you don't have the mindset of here's how I can build systems and make things logically work, that's where I can help you, right? I can personally help you there. So what I want you to do, go click the first link in the description. There's no pressure. I just want you to book in a quick 5-10 minute call just so we can have a quick chat with you and see how we can actually help you. So hopefully this video was helpful. Just wanted to kind of state this thing that I kind of had this realization and it would have saved me 10 years of my life. Probably not 10 years, that's not realistic, but it will probably have saved me 3 or 4 years of my life if I had known this sooner. I just got a business partner a year and a half ago. And so what I've realized since I have my business partner is that when you have a business partner, when you have someone there to compromise what you don't have and to complement what you don't have, you're able to actually grow as a team. And you can't do things by yourself. You have to build an army that will go to war for you. Otherwise, they're going to go to war against you. And so that was my biggest piece of advice, is find a business partner. Let's see how we can help you as well. Click that first link in the description. I'll see you later. Peace.